And moving on to something that seemingly always is, you always hear a lot of opinions about, but we rarely, as Americans, do hear from an Iraqi and an Iraqi woman or a Muslim woman, more specific, is how do you feel in your day to day life being treated as a woman, whether it's from any pressures you might feel to wear to cover up or speak out. Like, how do you personally feel you are treated?
In Iraq or outside or both?
Oh, both, the entire experience.
Okay, so in Iraq, you would feel that you are more secure and you are safe if you are dressed in the way that the community wants to see you dressed. So I always refuse to wear that abaya. Abaya is the plain thing that we wear. It's cover us from head to toe, and I always refuse to wear it because I told my friends that I feel like I am in a garbage bag and I feel disrespected when I wear this. But later on, I discovered growing up that you get the freedom to do whatever you want as long as you are giving them the image that they want to see. So girls here, they wear whatever the community asks them to wear because it is safer. We have the safety issue. We want to feel safe. We know that people would always be against girls if something bad happened to them. They would say because you didn't dress well or you did something like this, you went out at such time, it is your fault. Most of the time, even if we are the victims, so we are doing what the community wants us to do, so we can go out and do the things that we want to do. So here I feel I am not free at all because I don't get the chance to choose what to wear or go out, when to go out or where or with whom. I never get the chance to choose these most important and basic things. But I feel if I did really follow the community direction, I would feel safe. So you have to compromise. When I travel outside, I get the chance to wear what I wear, to go out with whom I like, to go where do I like, but it doesn't really feel that important because you don't really have things to do in a different place, and it is not your community, and everybody is dressed in that way. You don't feel like you are free because it is normal here. And in your country, you are wearing things that are weird in that place, but you are normal. So it doesn't really feel that they are oppressing us that much because we get used to wearing hijab. But when the people look at me wearing hijab when I travel outside, I think many people, most of the people, if not all of the people, are good with me. I went to the US a couple times, I went to different places. Nobody treats me differently except when I am checking in or traveling in checking in hotels or traveling in the airports. I have to pass the checkpoints. It is sometimes I do feel sometimes that because I'm wearing hijab, things are going slow with me. But I'm okay with that too because I know how they I know the face they saw of Islam, so I respect I respect the way they think because they didn't come with it by themselves. Some people gave them that image, so um, let's go with it. This is the thing of growing up as a girl in Iraq. You learn to give the people the opportunity to force you do things that you might not be okay with, but these things are going to make things go smooth. So we do compromise a lot, but because we want things to go peacefully and without causing any troubles. That's why I'm okay with people um, looking at me in a weird way because I do respect where their ideas come from, and I do respect where the communities I live in ideas come from. So I do compromise, and it's okay with me now. And I don't think that is about hijab or about where to go out and when. It's about um, feeling where you do belong. I do belong here in Iraq. I do love Iraq. I don't really want to travel outside of Iraq. I wish that one day Iraq is safe enough and I wouldn't think about going outside Iraq. But uh, things are not really going well here. So I might one day consider going out to Iraq and no and never going back. I don't know.
So, have you ever considered to not wear the hijab when you travel outside of Iraq?
Yes, I do consider it. But even if I did it, what difference would it make? Because for me, what I've discovered about hijab, it makes you feel that you should take care of yourself. It makes you feel that you should consider the moves that you do, consider the way you act. That is the thing that it do, and considering what you do would make people look at you in a respectful way, not sexual way, and that is good for you as a girl. You want people to respect you. So I feel hijab is a thing. Is the hijab idea is the idea of supporting women, of giving women the right to be respected and not really sexualized because of their figure and not their brains and their ideas. And not wearing doesn't really make such a difference if you are in a community where nobody actually wears it. So it is just a way to emerge in the community and feel natural. So for me, it's normal to wear it and not to wear it. Whenever you feel that you need to wear it and it's safe for you to wear it, just do it. And if you don't feel really this environment needs to be, you need to cover up, you don't really have to do it. So for me, hijab is a good thing in certain places, and sometimes if it does cause you troubles, then there is no need for it. I know it is not the Islamic way to think of hijab, but this is what I have learned from traveling and wearing hijab.
Do you want there to be a time or a time to come where women don't feel pressured to wear it?
This is what I wish. I do like the idea of hijab. I told you it is a good thing that make women important not as women and in their figure, but as women as students, as workers, as mothers. It's the way they behave, not about their body. So it is a good thing for women. It makes them feel respected and they can respect themselves. And it's a way to be safe. So I am not really against hijab. The thing I am against is forcing women to wear hijab because it should be a choice. And in Iraq, we don't really force women to wear it, but at some communities, like for example, my community, it's very religious a place. We have a very uh, religious, religious character, Islamic religious character bears in Najaf. So we wear this because we respect the city. Nobody forced us to, but because we respect this city and we want to feel that we do belong here, because people will treat us differently if we don't wear it, but nobody will hurt us.
So you don't feel any threats from, you wouldn't feel as if you were in danger of violence from any Iraqi men in Najaf if you were not to wear it?
No, I wouldn't feel no. I don't feel it's dangerous not to wear it. It's, actually, what the thing I like about Iraq that we don't really have um, things against women that would we don't really oppress women that much. It's like women's choice to wear hijab. It's women's choice to be mistreated by men sometimes here. But laws are always supporting women. We are one of the countries in the Middle East that we gave Iraq gave the women the right to vote. I think it's the first country that did that. Women are allowed to travel. They can work everywhere. We finish our education, so we are support. The Iraqs do support women, and communities do support them. And we are not in danger if we choose to wear it or not. It is a personal choice. But as I told you, you want to feel that you belong to that community. So if you don't wear it, you wouldn't be really belonging to that community, and you wouldn't like being talked to as an outsider if you are living there. So I am wearing it because I really live here and I want to be treated as someone from the inside.
Yeah, that is that definitely gives a very interesting
It's
look at
a
it.
uniform. Yes, it's a uniform. If you don't wear the uniform, then you are the most noticeable person, and nobody wants to be that noticeable in a community.
Like I know there's probably going to be individuals listening that are thinking, well, well, even if it's a personal choice, but there's still that pressure there, and a lot of women around the world feel like they are pressured to look like a certain way or do a certain thing. Is it? I mean, I guess the question would be, for on a personal level, do you feel that it's restricting you at all, even with the outside pressure to fit inside of a community?
Does it Personally, when I started working with the UN, actually, I started considering that hijab makes people treat me that as I am less educated or someone they cannot depend on, because I would have this restriction in movement or in talking to people, or I didn't really have the opportunity to be outgoing and know more. So I felt that hijab making a really not that good impression about me. They are not really seeing uh, a working, successful working woman. They are seeing a girl with hijab living in a community where she has to do that. So it is not her choice. I start to feel that no, like hijab is giving a bad image about me. But later on, I thought, no, actually, it is it does give a bad image about me. But when it comes to the how do I feel about hijab? I don't think hijab makes me limited. It never limits someone. Even if you do sports, many girls do sport and they wear hijab. It's not limiting. It's just a way of making girls consider their brains more than their bodies. And that's where I started to like the idea of hijab. Because when people look at you as oppressed and don't really have the will to make your own mind, it's a good chance to prove them wrong. That's why I feel like I should continue with wearing hijab and be more successful, so people can see that the idea of hijab is not to oppress women, is to help them and to support them, to empower their brains and to work harder on achieving things, not to work on their beauty and the way they look. So I think it is a good idea of wearing hijab now, but yes, many people think of me less because I'm wearing hijab.
And have you had any detailed conversations with those people, or do you kind of leave it alone and just try to show who you are?
I do think I have talked to some people because, but not in a direct way. It's like they ask me, do you go out? They ask me the questions that they wouldn't ask a Muslim Iraqi girl with no hijab. They ask us different questions. Because I'm wearing hijab, I feel like I am asked in a way that shows that I am oppressed and I am not able to do anything. So it is not direct, but I feel it. Uh, but as I said, you notice it, you feel it, but nobody who did directly did something to me because I'm wearing hijab or asked me questions about it.
And I do think what you're bringing up is a very very interesting conversation to have, because there's especially in Western society there, with the feminism and the actual form of feminism where women are struggling for equality. A lot of, because I've heard conversations um, in different lectures where women will say, that they are still fighting to be seen as intelligent and taken seriously. And what you're saying is that you feel like when you wear the hijab, it's forcing people to just take you as a person of intellect and not just what you look like. But my
Yes.
first thing that comes to my mind is, aren't there always going to be those individuals who are just not going to respect women regardless of how they look or what they say? And what would you respond to those individuals?
As you said, there will always be these people. So the only way to respond is to work harder and achieve more. And if that wouldn't change their mind, I don't think there is something would change their mind. So as I said before, if there are people you cannot argue with, I wouldn't argue with. I just like go on with my life and let them think the way they do.